multiple levels, right? So 2016 was relatively quiet in terms of new capital. I think some of that will start getting eased out because fundamentally I think the India story makes sense. It's more of a question of how quickly can we accelerate, which I think people have figured out that it may not be as quick as we had thought, but fundamentally there are opportunities to build good businesses here. So I think more and more of the money that was missing out on 2016 should start coming back. So overall, that's on the money side. I think what has happened is this lull in 2016. It has given early stage funds like ours and a bunch of others in that category a good period of time to build out companies without always having to go raise the next round of funding and the next round of funding. So that I think has sort of done a lot of good for the ecosystem in terms of both the kinds of numbers that we can show, and in terms of a bunch of founders who may or may not have been completely aligned with this way of building, and they have kind of stepped aside a little bit. So I think both from the founder perspective as well as the company metrics perspective, I feel pretty good about 2017. So it depends on the angel and the stage of the company and the sector and all of that, right? So let's say I did this investment in a company called Sigtuple, which was actually referred to me by Sachin and Binny, and it was a very simple referral saying that I'm doing 200K or 250K or whatever they were doing, and then we like the guys, we know them from IIT. If you're interested, do you want to put a little bit of money? And I said, okay, let me just go meet them once. And at the end of that one meeting, we decided to put, I think, a couple $100K into the company. They did well, and we are now leading. We just led the Series A for them. So for somebody like them who I've worked with on a fairly long basis, it is more of telling me that they kind of have respect for this person or group of people. They know that they're ethically doing good stuff as well as technically and product-wise doing good stuff. So that itself is a very good checkbox for me. On the other hand, if we are working with angels who, let's say, we haven't known for too long, then it's a little bit of a courtship process is to figure out what is the background of this person. Is he more of a product guy or a marketing guy or a sales guy or a tech guy? So try to slot them in that perspective, and then maybe try to understand that aspect of the company a little bit more from them, saying, what motivates you? You're a salesperson, so do they have a unique sales model, or have they figured out something that others cannot replicate very easily? But that is generally done in multiple levels of conversation. But in a generic way, I would say when we look at any other company, an angel brings us a company, is it product market fit has happened? Do they have decent metrics to prove that? Is this a good market opportunity? Is the team good? And can they scale, right? So those are all the questions that we are trying to answer. And depending on where this angel has come from, we try to kind of dissect that a little bit. No, not really. I mean, we invest in 5 to 6 sectors, and we'll continue to be on those. So in 1Z, 2Z's cases, so machine learning, we have now done 2. We've, Sigtuple is one of them. And a bunch of our companies are now using machine learning as well. So I shouldn't just say 2, it's probably a larger number than that. But it is not like we are going to put a lot of our fund in those areas. It will still be the 5 pivotal or core areas, and then a few that are coming in new that we are trying to experiment with. Yeah, I mean, I think downstairs we talked about Let's Venture as a firm. I think it's actually a very, very opportune time for Let's Venture, because as the ecosystem in India builds out, there'll be a lot more angel investors, and then as some of the current entrepreneurs start making money, they would want to turn around and become angel investors. So if we can attract the right community of both angels and companies, I think there is a nice opportunity that we can cater to as Let's Venture. Let's Ignite, been a short stint for me, but see a lot of vibrancy here. Met a bunch of good people, so I'm assuming it's going very well. But I wait to see what happens tomorrow as well, of course.